Hello and welcome to a very special edition Quick Hits. It's the football season wrap-up. Welcome to the El Segundo Media Studios. I'm Miguel DeLeo, and I'm joined by some very special guests. We have the El Segundo High School Athletic Director and former Eagles coach, Steve Shevlin, and the current El Segundo Eagles football coach, Sean Green. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, no problem. It's great being here.
Talk some football. After the crazy 2020 we had, we didn't know if we were going to have another football game. You guys scrambled to have that short season, the 4-game season back in spring. And Coach Shevlin, I'll go to you first. How hard was it to get that season going and then get ready for a full 10-game season just a few months later?
That's a great question. Looking back now, it was just great to get the season in any capacity we could. But it was difficult. We were doing pod training. We weren't really being allowed because of the LA mandates to really have team sessions. So it was a lot of individual workouts in all the different sports that were participating. And when they opened and said, okay, we're going to allow for the season, Sean basically had 2 weeks to put the entire summer program in and try to get ready for the season to be able to play games. And I think physically it wore on us a little bit. Mentally it was tough to get to the grips that we're going to start playing games so quickly. But the fact that we got to play was the win. I mean, that was the whole thing. We got most of the seasons in, most of the sports played. And I was super excited to move past that this year to get where we could actually prepare.
And then when you had to look at that 10-game schedule coming up here in late August, early September, you told me a little bit during the season that it was hard to find opponents for some of those weeks, correct?
It was very difficult coming into this season to find the opponents. You just don't know who and what programs are where and what they're having. So, a lot of emails, a lot of reaching out, a lot of trying to firm up contracts that we had the year before to make sure that they were still going to be either a 2-level program or at least a varsity level program. And it was great that it came to fruition this year that we were able to solidify that schedule. And now we've already started scheduling for next year.
And Coach Green, how was it like for you, your first year as the head coach? All this pandemic, all this craziness happens around you, and you're thrown into a short 4-game season. Then you have to prepare for a full season just months later.
Yeah, it was quite a whirlwind for sure. For me, you have a plan in your head of what it was going to be like, and then you kind of take that plan and throw it away completely. With Coach Shevlin helping me along the way. But like Coach said, I mean, we were practicing 6 feet apart for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's like Coach Shevlin calls me and goes, "We're ready to go." And we get 2 weeks to do it. There's no excuses. We could have been a little better at moments for sure. But, I was really proud of the way the kids fought. And then for a turnaround, I'm starting to get ready for next year. Okay, I got a couple months. And then it's like, oh man, we're back at the season again. It was kind of nice because we had we struggled a little bit the year before. But getting back out there with the guys, I mean, they really worked really hard over the summer to get prepared. And then getting back out there this season was awesome. The kids did really well.
Do you think it helps you a little bit to have that 4-game season, kind of like a preseason to get you ready for your first official full 10-game season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously the circumstances weren't good. And, for me, I tell people all the time, everyone else dealt with the same circumstances too. So it wasn't just El Segundo who was dealing with it. The world was dealing with it. But it was great. It was good. A lot of guys played that probably wouldn't have played because other guys were playing baseball and track and other sports because all these kids had to pick, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it was definitely something that was good for us to kind of get warmed up and then really kind of get going. And then we're excited this year to have a real true off season to get these guys truly ready and see where we're at for the next season.
Yeah, definitely. We'll preview the 2020 season in just a little bit. But before we look into the future, we'll dig a little more into the 2021 season. And for more on the Eagles, let's go to the field. James Powell has a special report.
Friends, the only constant in high school football has changed, but a big one is coming to the Eagles in 2022. 24 seniors had their final performance here at Hazeltine Field against the West Torrance Warriors, and the question is, how will they replace their production? Seniors were leaders in both the receiving and rushing categories, and Matthew Higginbottom had more than double the tackles of any other Eagle. Now, for thoughts on how host games might have affected the Eagles' playoff chances, let's hand it over to Mr. Tony Long, Jr.
Thanks, James. As the playoff appearance came out, we noticed that 5 of the 6 teams from the Pioneer League will continue their season. Unfortunately for the Eagles, their season has come to an end. Well, how close were they to qualifying for the playoffs, you may ask? They were involved in 1-score games against North, West, and Torrance. If those games ended in a different way, we'd probably be talking about the Eagles playing as of right now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Tony. Some good stuff right there for both guys. They covered you guys on the sidelines all season long. We were so happy to have them a part of our broadcast team this year. And we're so happy, again, just to be on the field and have football back. I know I missed it. Now, to get into the season a little bit, you guys started 5-0, then, went on a 5-game losing streak when the league game started. Coach, what do you think the difference was there from those first 5 games to those last 5 games?
I think we played a little bit of a tougher team in league. I was proud of the effort with the kids. They worked really hard. We had a lot of tough games early on, and I think that they really worked through those games. We didn't have a lot of blowouts, and it was real tough there. But, you get into league and you start seeing teams that have played us before. They kind of know what we're up to, the schemes and different things like that. And, we just played tough opponents. And like you kind of mentioned, we're a touchdown away in 3 games, or we could have one play here or there, a special teams difference, a defensive stop, an offense a little bit better. Those games go different. We're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, definitely. We wouldn't be talking about this postseason right now. It would be definitely pushed back for sure. Coach Shevlin, I know you've been through those kind of seasons where they've been close and then just the results didn't, come your way. What kind of advice did you give to Coach Green being a young head coach?
I was really pretty positive with the way the season went. And I talked to Sean after the season and I said, really the improvement from the pandemic season to where you are now as a program is 100% improvement. And to close that gap in those league games from where we were the year before and how we lost those games to how we ended up this season being so close, and really 4 of those games to have a shot to win right there in the last drive is a tremendous tribute to what he's done as a staff, how all those kids bought in. I mean, they are fully vested in everything that he's trying to teach and do right now. So, those fine moments are incremental and you don't see it right away. But I told him he's on the precipice of something really special. And it's right there. A couple fixes somewhere along the line, a couple changes of the ball bouncing a different direction. Maybe we get a couple wins, but the trajectory of the program is really strong. And I'm encouraging him because it's frustrating. Being there where he's been and losing tight games like that is really frustrating. But when you reflect back, you see how much closer you are to getting over that hump.
Yeah, and one guy that made huge strides from that 4-game season in the spring to the full season here in the fall was Leo Mendez. How important was he to your team this year, and what kind of quarterback is he going to be in the future?
Yeah, I mean, that kid is, like Coach said, he's one of the guys that's bought in. He's our team leader. He'll be a two-year captain. I would assume the guys would vote him as a captain again this year. He, you talk about coachable kids, and I don't want to be coach speak on it, but you say, hey, don't do that, and it doesn't happen again. Hey, I want you to think about this. And it's a real testament of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. A lot of kids say they want to do something. He's really, been a kid that's come a long way, and I think with another full off season and another season, everything's going to look the same again this year for him. The game will slow down a little bit, and I think he'll have a lot of success this year.
Yeah, definitely. We did a post-game interview with him during one of the home games, and he had a great game. He made a few mistakes, but when we asked him some questions at the end, first thing he did was thank his offensive line. He said, I wouldn't, be anywhere without the offensive line. So usually you see that at a higher level. You don't see that at the high school level where those guys will, give credit to the O-line right away. And that's a big plus in my book for a young quarterback, especially. I think it's going to be great next year to watch. Can't wait. Now, another thing that's, kind of sticks out right away when you look at this team, a lot of seniors produced this year for you guys. Those guys are going to graduate. They're going to be gone. Where do you find the productivity next season?
There's a lot of guys that we have coming back. I do think losing 23 seniors is tough to fix right off the bat. But I think over the last summer, we've had a lot of even sophomores and juniors that have really contributed. We've had a lot of conversations with those younger guys that kind of didn't get quite as many opportunities as they wanted to say, you guys are the guys. It's your opportunity. It's your chance to take the next step. There's a lot of guys that started for us, Anthony Temesfari, Michael Wilson, Gabriel Blanco. Those guys will be key for us coming back and kind of growing, but we'll transition. The coaching staff has been working on a plan to kind of get them ready to go. We'll start lifting weights in the spring and get after it, but I think we have plenty of guys that are out there. And I think what will happen this year is that our upcoming sophomores typically don't have as much of a foothold in the game plans. I think there's going to be some sophomores that are going to be real contributors this upcoming season.
Yeah, somehow, and Coach Shevlin, you've been here before as well. Somehow, you guys lose a lot of seniors, and everyone's counting you guys out. But then the next year, you're in there, winning 8 games in a row or something crazy, and you're in the playoffs. What's it about El Segundo that you just keep producing talent no matter what, whoever's leaving?
Yeah, I've always thought it's just a kind of feel of, being genuine. So if the kids always felt like we were being genuine running the program and installing our offense and defense and our special teams and working in the weight room in the off season, I think they feel there's a genuineness in what we're trying to do and it's for the benefit of them and the community. Those kids tend to buy in. And I think one of the big pluses that I did when I was the head coach was the off-season 6 a.m. workouts that we do, and Sean's still implementing that. You really start to see who's committed, who's buying in, who's willing to get up and sacrifice and make this really a part of their lives. And I think that feeds into the mantra that we will compete and we will fight in every game as long as we have their support. So I think moving forward, we're going to do the same thing. I think those sophomores that he's talking about are a big inflection point for us to bring in and really see how they develop over the next year.
Yeah, one guy, that you definitely could see how much this football program meant to, Sam Petruda. He got hurt a few weeks, towards the end of the season there, but he came back. You put him into that last snap. That was a really cool move as well. I don't know if a lot of people noticed that, but he was out there when the other team took a knee, just his last snap as a senior here in El Segundo. But you could tell after we finished our post game, we wrapped everything up, we wrapped our equipment. We're one of the last people to leave after the game, besides the people that are cleaning up the field. But Sam Petruda was still on the field. He was at the logo. He was there. He had his hands on his head. And you could definitely tell how hurt it was that he missed the playoffs and he went out the way he did. But definitely a cool moment to see, just you could definitely tell how much this football program and playing and being an Eagle meant to him for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that happened. I've done this for 20 years and, I'd always say to coach, like, I never really thought about it. And kids came back and said stuff to me and I was their freshman coach and it's a little different and you got 3 more years and stepping into this role, I know how much it means to me. And when I watch kids like Sam that go out there and just, they lay it out for us. I mean, Conrad Bernstein last year, Sam this year with getting hurt. I mean, these guys go out there and do it for us. And it's so important to see hearing those stories. You're just like, it's heartbreaking that he had what happened to him. But hopefully we're able to get him going next year, maybe get him into a college program somewhere. But yeah, Coach along the way during the 5-game losing streak had some comments to me, and I look back now and I can kind of understand him a little better. I was a little frustrated at moments with him, but not with him, but just the season it was going through. And he said, Coach, they bought in. And that's the thing that people don't see in the locker room. Those guys gave it everything they could give it. And I can't ask for anything else. It's for me, my coaches, my staff, and those kids on that field, they gave 100% all the time. And there was nothing that I would have said effort-wise that I would have changed. Obviously, some X's and O's and bounce the ball, the things like that. But, I mean, Sam Petruda and all those seniors, all the things they did for us as a program, I can't thank them enough. And I hope they have memories for a lifetime about what we were able to do. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but, those kids are amazing kids and expect them to do great things in life.
One of the things that we talk about is high character and high integrity. And Sam probably exemplifies that more than any other kid in a team coming off injury and having to deal with the emotion of losing the season that he was going to lose. And he knew it, probably wouldn't come back, and then not being able to help his teammates. And yet he was back that Monday at practice helping Conrad, who took over the tight end spot, helping install, helping how to run the routes, how to be open in space. And that's the kind of character that we want in our football program. Someone that, is going to contribute however they can, whenever they can. And no one was ever going to work out Sam at practice. No one was ever going to outwork him in a game. He was going to be all in on all things that coach was going to ask. And you can't ask anything more. And it doesn't surprise me that he would do that at the end of the game. I mean, I think he was the kid that was devastated, but was not going to get him down. He was going to overcome, and we talk about that a lot, overcoming adversity, and he was going to be the kid that would persevere through that. And it's nice to hear that because that just speaks to the kind of person he is.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very strong character team. You can definitely see that with these guys. And the camaraderie is there. You can definitely see it. These guys fight for each other and play for each other and give it 110% for each other and for you guys, the coaching staff, and for the community. They gave us some great moments this season. Unfortunately, like you said, not the way that they wanted the season to end, but still some great moments, some great plays. So right now we're going to take a look at the top 5 plays from the El Segundo Eagles 2021 football season here at home. Let's take a look at number 5. Wasn't the first to score. Will they be here tonight? Here's Wilson in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles! Michael Wilson back from injury and scoring already. 25-yard line. Here's Bucher. Right through the middle of the defense. Stiff arms the defender. Bucher in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. The Cougars going with 4 receivers, a man in motion. Play action. Pressure in Aguilar's face. Looking for a one-handed catch. No, interception instead. El Segundo with a big INT. Definitely been exciting. Here's a play action. Quick throw to Khan. He is in. Touchdown, Eagles. Mason Khan with the 3rd touchdown of the game. And then looks that way. Throws in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles! Nathan Pasquarelli. Wide open. A terrific list, some great plays again, some great memories from the 2021 Eagles football team. Coach Shevlin, I'll go to you first. What's a favorite memory of you that sticks out from this past season?
There's actually a lot of great memories, but one that kind of always stuck out because I think it talked to the growth of Leo's play as a quarterback, but also spoke to the growth of our team and what Sean and I are trying to install offensively. We were in a game against Mary Star. It's they're ahead and we're going on our last drive. Sean makes a 4th down call, little pass play that Sam Petruda is going to do a little double move on, and Leo just stayed in the pocket, stuck it. First catches, Sam catches in traffic, gets hit, 1st down, and we take that and that drive and end up going down and scoring and winning that game. And I thought that talked really about the growth of the program because that would not have happened last year. The team would have fallen apart under that pressure, and these are the little things I think I see and talk about as being real positive steps moving forward because now they start to believe they can do this all the time. And that's when those special seasons start to happen. So that was the one play I think that really stuck out to me because that was a real growth step in the program overall.
Yeah, Leo Mendez had a play like that too at home to Pasquarelli, I think it was. 3 defenders on him. There's a very tight window, and he got it in there, precise and cool under pressure, and just a great play for a junior quarterback. Only been starting for a few games. So, Coach Green, what's your favorite memory?
It's funny. You think about all the 10 games and all the things and the positives and the negatives and all the things that happen. One thing that when you asked me earlier about it, I went to an off-season time. Coach Shevlin had mentioned to me, going to a Royal Grande, it's a passing tournament. The football's good for the kids, but getting them together. And I said, great, Coach, whatever, thanks for the advice. Okay. I'm like going, okay, sounds good. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm listening, but I don't quite understand. And Coach Glotz and I went on the trip. We took the kids out. Kind of funny to listen to them because, being the freshman coach, I didn't really connect with them. I connected with them, but you don't get to know them like you get to know the varsity guys because I'm with them so much more. And I'm the head guy now, so everything kind of comes to me. Family problems, home problems, football problems, all those different things. And you get in a bus and kids, they're making jokes and they're doing all this stuff. And I'm going, And you don't reflect on it right then. Me and Coach Glotz went to go get gas and the guys were at the motel. We come back and I had 24 guys on the trip. So Coach Glotz and I get out of the car and I have 24 guys in the pool. And 24 guys are trying to drown each other the night before we have our passing league games. And I got there and I sat down on the side for a minute, joking around with the guys. They're throwing the football around. They're playing, having a good time. And I went, they don't want me around here. And I walked away and I was like, this is what it's all about. And for me, I'm a little older now. I have kids myself, and I'm just like, those moments are the moments these guys remember. And for me to be able to help get them into those places and the football stuff, they'll remember the touchdowns, they'll remember the drops, they'll remember the interceptions. But to watch them do that, and then the next night, kind of on top of that, we finished the day, we have a good day, the kids had a really good time. I walk outside, and we were on the 2nd floor. Me and Gloss were walking out to go grab dinner, and I walked out, and one of the kids kind of saw me in the parking lot, and I said, what are you guys up to? And he looks at me and goes, Coach, we're playing tag. And I said, well, what? And he goes, no, I got to go, Coach. And these guys are chasing each other around the pool and the parking lot. And for me, it's funny, but those are the things that we remember. I tell people all the time, like the 5 guys, besides my brother, the 5 guys in my wedding were all on the football team with Coach Shevlin. So it's kind of this full circle thing to kind of think they'll have those memories. They won't remember. It'll be the 10 years from now, and like, remember that time. So those things, besides the football stuff, I think those are super important to me when I look and say, okay, what am I doing here, and what am I trying to grow and trying to keep growing what Coach Shevlin did. Those are the moments that I think are really fun to see kids, and it has nothing to do with football. It's just them being together. So speaks a lot to
that's
the
the best part, I think, about sports. I think we all remember those bus trips, going to the games, or coming back from a game, or team dinners before games. Every Thursday we used to have them when I played. So it's just those things stick out to you. Years after, it doesn't matter. You could be 30 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. You still remember those kind of moments, and it's really special, really great bonding to be in on the football team. Well, now we'll take a moment to look ahead to the 2022 season. Coach Shevlin, I'll start with you now. As the athletic director, again, you're working to get this season ready. What can we expect from the 2022 football season?
Well, a couple big picture things right now. I'm involved in the SBAA, our South Bay Athletic Association. So I'm speaking as our athletic director. There's a chance that football could realign leagues for next year, and we might get realigned into a different league. We're going to be voting on it next month as an association. If that doesn't happen and we stay in our current configuration, then it'll be the same league that we're currently in. And I think looking for us, looking athletically overall, it's a very competitive league for us in athletics in general. Like all our sports are in a solid, really fun, competitive league. And I would expect football to be exactly the same as it was this year, with some more fine tuning. And I think our non-league season is going to be a little bit more competitive than it was last year, which will prepare us for league. And I think our league season is going to be just as competitive and just as hard. But I think the kids are feeling how to get past that. Like we're not going to be overwhelmed. We're going to compete in it. And I think that's the big step for us as a football program. Athletically overall, we'll know more next month. But right now, it's a great league for us in all sports. And we're very happy to be basically with the Torrance schools in all the sports that we're playing.
Do you already know what league you might end up in, or is that still going to be discussed?
It hasn't been proposed yet. The idea is for football with CIF, they did the competitive rankings for playoffs. So if you were to follow suit with that, it would be the top highest ranked 6 teams, next 6, and next 6, and that would form the 3 leagues. So we may lose Lawndale and the North Torrance out of the league, and maybe gain losing, or someone else might come into the league, or there might be some bouncing around. But that was the one proposal. There is a genuine concern about numbers with football as participants overall, and concern about disparate games. For us, Lawndale playing in our league is a really tough challenge, and it's something that I think we have to reckon with as a South Bay association. I think Inglewood and Losing are currently in the Ocean League are juggernauts, and it's something that we have to look closely at to see how we're going to manage the safety of those kids playing at those levels, and maybe some of those league misalignments. So that vote's up this week or this month, and then we'll see where it takes us after that.
We actually could kind of go off tracks a little bit. That was in the news this past few days because of what happened in that Inglewood Morningside game, which was 106, I believe, to 0. So that made news nationwide. How that score got so out of hand. Definitely you don't want to see that, especially at this level. A lot of the guys, there might be some players that are looking to play the next level, but a lot of the guys, this is it for them. They're just out there trying to create those memories and have a good time. So definitely you want to have competitive games, but you also want to be matched up evenly as well too. So
I think that, in large part, you want to teach. For me, it was always about teaching the right way to win and the right way to lose. I mean, it works both ways. But I've been on both sides of scores that were lopsided, and there's ways that it's done and managed, and the coaches can shake hands afterwards and respect each other. I think what took place in that case wasn't recognizing that part of the game. It was about just scoring points at whatever cost, and that's unfortunate because that's not what high school athletics, at least in my opinion, should be about.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, like I said, made national news all over the place. So definitely brought a spotlight, not a good spotlight, but a spotlight nonetheless to Inglewood here, just a few miles from us. Coach Green, I'll go to you now. What can we expect from the X's and O's and the off-season program as we look ahead to that 2022 season?
We're going to meet as a staff. A lot of self-reflection. I was joking with Coach Shevlin a little while ago about, okay, it's 2 weeks out. I feel a little better about things, a little frustrated at the end there, obviously, like we talked about. But, we just get back on the horse, and it's tough, and it's hard for me personally to start again and a fresh start, but it's exciting. And, we're ready to turn the corner. We cleaned out the shed yesterday and got the helmets all set up and all that stuff. Have a schedule for when we're going to go back to the old 6 o'clock in the morning, Coach Shevlin lifting weights, find out who's going to buy in and get ready to go. But yeah, we're going to meet as a staff in a couple weeks to kind of really look at what we need to do. All three facets of the game we need to have a conversation about. Special teams, we had some moments where we did some things that I think weren't great. Obviously, there's a lot of positives. I don't want to sound all negative about everything, but special teams, we have to be better. Defensively, there's some times where we gave up big plays that I want to correct. And then offensively, this is my second year as a varsity head coach and a second year as a varsity offensive coordinator. It's a whole lot different down on the lower level. So me working with Coach Shevlin and my offensive staff to get better for myself. The kids are going to buy in and do the things we need them to do. But I've learned so much in 18 months. I'm excited to see where we can kind of move. And it's going to start with the coaching staff and the kids. I think we're going to see some good things next year.
Has it kicked in that you're the head coach now? Because in preseason you told me it's still unbelievable that you're now the guy in charge.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to feel a little more like that head coaching thing when the invoices come in and the sheds and all that other head coaching stuff. But I said it to you guys, and it generally is such an honor to sit here, like coming in here and doing this interview and all these things. It's weird because you go to these things. I go to a readathon for my kid, and two dads walk over and go, "Hey, you're the head coach of the football team." I'm like, oh, it's still all kind of sinks in. It's not about me, and I don't ever want it to be about me. But really being able to be a player in this program, coach at the lower level for a lot of years, and really give back to this community, and it's not about me. This coaching staff and these kids, what they've done, they're the reason why we're where we are and where we're going to go. But it's still one of the, besides my wife and kids and a great job that I have, it's a real honor to be able to do this and be the head coach of this program. I really love being here, and I enjoy it, and hope I can stick around for a few more years.
Well, you've been doing a great job so far. And again, we were just so happy to have football back and watch you guys. You provided some great memories for us. All the games were close. They're all exciting. And again, we thank you so much for being here. That's the time we have for today. We thank you to James Powell. Thank you to Tony Long Jr. and for everyone here at El Segundo Media. For Coach Shevlin, for Coach Green, I'm Mendez Interview. I'll see you guys next time.